Here we are talking about the Aurora market and the Joliet market side by side. Here we're using InfoSparks today. This month is September 2025, and so we have the information here from both markets just to go side by side comparison. Now, first of all, here we are in the Aurora market. This is what we're going to look at so far as this place goes. Now, we're using not the general public, not all the properties. We're going to talk about only single family, detached, resale, traditional sale homes of 300,999 or less. We're not including all of the market. We're not including the high rich homes or the other types of properties in the area, even the new construction. All of those are excluded so that we can have a good idea of what this particular market is looking for. So as far as Aurora goes, let's go ahead and speak about Aurora first, and then we're going to compare it to Joliet's market. All right, so as far as that area goes here for the Aurora, here we're looking at the sales price. We're going to look at three categories: sales price, inventory, and buyer demand, so that we can see how the state of the market is looking like right now. Number one, sale price. Let's look at the average sale price first of all here in Aurora. Average sale price, and that takes into account the lower numbers and the highest numbers in this category. In this particular market, 377,440 is the price. Now I get it, it's over the price range, so I'm gonna filter it down just one more time. Let me just click on this button. All right, there we go. Now we are in the market of 301 basically and less. Okay, so let's refresh. All right, here we go. In this particular market, the average price is around 246. That's 3% higher than it was a year ago. Again, we're taking into account August 2025 numbers. Even though we're September, we have data from 2025 August. And again, the number is 246 and a half. A year ago, in August of 2024, we were at 239. So yes, prices have gone up compared to a year ago. By how much? 3%. 3% is what the numbers are looking like. So yes, prices have gone up. That's the average. Let's take a look at the median price here in Aurora. Median is the more conservative numbers. They take into account only the more consistent numbers, not taking into account any huge anomalies such as really high price, really low prices. Again, we're in the market of 301 or less. So in this market, the conservative number has been about 253. Compared to last year, we're only at 4.5% higher. So again, this month we are 253. A year ago in August of 2024, we were at 242. So 242 to 253, prices have gone up in the last 12 months to 4.5. Again, we're looking at information here, data that has the previous 11 months rolled into this. If you want to look at the raw monthly data, let me refresh that and let me give you numbers again. Speaking about prices, the median price is 260, again up 4% from a year ago. So that's what the numbers are looking like here for Aurora. All right, more numbers for Aurora. Okay, now let's look at the inventory, the month's supply. First of all, let's take a look at the month's supply. 6 is the balanced market month. We've been below 6 for a very long time, many years. So we've been in a seller's market, and even now we're at 0.8 months available. So it's a very, very strong seller's market, even though there is talk of more buyers getting into the market. And even if there are more buyers getting into the market, that just shows you how scarce sellers are, how scarce the inventory is. And of course, in Aurora, is 0.8. Has that number grown? Has that number gone up or down compared to 1 year ago? The answer is pretty much flat from a year ago. So has inventory gone up? Look, national news might say the inventory is going up and it's going crazy, but that's the national news. I mute that information and I take into account the local numbers. And even last year, 0.8 was the inventory. So if anyone asks, do you have more or less inventory right now? Compared to a year ago, we're in the same exact spot when it comes to inventory, months supply. But let's look at the homes for sale and just those numbers. Here we go. Homes for sale in this market of 301 or less, looking at 24 properties for sale as throughout the month. That was basically the average, 24. Is that higher or lower than last year? According to the statistics, we are 7% less than last year, almost 8% less than last year. Say, what do you get last year? Last year, the inventory numbers were at 26 homes averaging for the month of August. This month is 24. All right, so 26 to 24, it's just 2 houses less. But again, it's just basically stagnant. We don't see huge numbers when it comes to the inventory supply And if you can see here in the video, even 5 years ago, inventory homes in this particular market were 130. 130 was just in 2020. And now to just have 24 homes available for sale, inventory is scarce to say the least. Okay, so that's the numbers as far as price up 4%, homes basically flat. And compare that to the last 5 years, we're looking at from 120 homes all the way to 24 only available. That's a low number. And now let's look at shows per listing. Now let's look at the buyer's side of things. The buyers here in the market, I mean, we've seen an increase in buyer activity, and I know the news has been speaking about the FHA and the interest rates dropping from 7 all the way down to 6.25 even as of today. So a lot of buzz, a lot of increased desire to know more about the market has been going on. But has that translated into more buyers actually getting pre-approved and actually going to houses and actually putting in offers? Well, let's find out, right? According to this, now, granted, the news did hit us in September, so that number is not going to really reflect until October when we get the September information. However, let's just take a look at what it was before the interest rates did take that dip. Let's take a look, and we'll see right here. So as far as buyers going to the showings, remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there's many people that want to buy. They'll fight tooth and nail to get themselves pre-approved, but they are not getting pre-approved. Why? Because of certain situations. Maybe they're not ready. Maybe they're not willing. Maybe they're not able. So those 12 in Aurora that registered in August to go look at houses per listing, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So these are the folks that actually made it to the quote-unquote playoffs, and it's only one that will win the championship of getting that offer written and accepted, I should say. But it says 12.2. How does that compare to last year? In August of last year, it looks like the inventory of buyers, you could say, the buyers out there, we're still at 12.4. So again, flat when it comes to houses inventory and flat when it comes to buyer demand. So we could basically look at it and say, we're paused. We're like, nothing's changed. Nothing's been crazy in the Aurora real estate market. If it was hot last year, it's still hot this year. If it was cold last year, it's still, you know what I mean? So it's still the same. And we've seen that cycle. In fact, if I can go back a little bit more to August of 2023, we did see more activity then. But again, we did see that consistency going from 24 all the way to 25, and now here we are. So 12.2. That is the state of the market according to the statistics. Now, let's go ahead and compare Aurora market to the Joliet market. Why Joliet? Because sometimes investors are interested in Joliet areas, right? So I would like to see what the Joliet numbers are looking like right now. So far as Redfin is reporting this. Let me just read it to you here so you can have an understanding of the Joliet market real quick in a nutshell before we go into any digits and statistics. The Joliet housing market, they're saying, is very competitive. Homes in Joliet receive 3 offers on average and sell in around 49 days. The median sale price of a home in Joliet was $318,000 last month, up 9.1% last year. The median sale price per square foot in Joliet is $182, up 1.4 since last year. So the trends, it says here, what is it like in Joliet today? In July of 2025, it's a couple months behind, but it says Joliet home prices were up 9.1 compared to last year, selling for a median price of $318. On average, homes in Joliet sell after 49 days in the market compared to 42 days last year. So it's saying here in this Redfin, I'm not going to bring it up here, or could I? Let me just see something here, lest I mess it up. Nah, let's leave it alone. That homes are taking a little bit extra, 1 week extra on the market. And then it says here, there were 149 homes sold in July this year, down from 162 last year. So there's 8% less homes sold year over year, okay? And again, the median days in the market, for your information, is 49 days in the market. So that's what it is taking. So it's taking a little bit longer to sell properties. And there are 8% less houses for sale, and the median sale price is $317. Okay, now that's taking into account general things. I mean, that's taking into account townhomes, condos, and single family, attached, detached. All of them are just bundled up together. That's Redfin, right? Okay, now comes the value of a local realtor. Local realtor is going to start looking at the exact market in the exact location with exact statistics. We're throwing away all the new construction. We're throwing away all the attached homes, townhomes, condos in the garbage can. All the 2 units, all of those are just gone, okay? Even the short sales, REOs, all these crazy transactions in the garbage. What we're looking at now are the Joliet numbers in our particular market. Why? Because the buyer, in this case, an investor, is interested in those. They don't care about new construction. They don't care about commercial land or anything else. They just want to know what benefits their pocket. If you want another information, another one, that's another video, right? So let's just take a look. Joliet has this many homes for sale. Let's just start up in the same numbers as we did last time. Sale, inventory, and buyers. All right, number one, sale price. What are we looking at? Again, average sale price in Joliet in this particular market. Let me go ahead and update that for Joliet. All right, is 225,787. That's the average sale price. So that's just taking into account everything in the in this particular market of 301 or less. 225. Let's go with a more conservative number, because as you know, the average takes into account the big ones and the small ones. So the conservative is about 229. Okay, that's the average sale price. Basically 230 is what homes in Joliet sell for in a particular market, again, of 301 or less. Why 301 or less? Because that's the playground of the investor that is looking to basically buy and hold a property. Obviously, any home can be a flip. There could be a $500,000 home that could be flipped, blah, 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 right? Obviously, if the price is right, any house can be flipped. But I've seen that in this particular investor range, they like to play around 300 or less, 250 or less, 200 or less, 100. So this is all encompassing for that particular buyer. All right, so prices have gone down 8.4% compared to last year. How many homes for sale here in Joliet? All right, in this particular market, actually is more than Aurora, believe it or not. Aurora has 24, Joliet has 58 homes for sale, and Joliet has less of a drop-off compared to Aurora. As far as year-to-date, 1 year ago sales. 58 in Joliet of this year, and exactly 1 year ago in Joliet, 59. So even though it's been stagnant, and you can look at even looking in this video here, every year we see Joliet has more of homes for sale, no matter what category. I mean, I don't see any part, maybe in December 2020, when it was so close, where Aurora and Joliet were so close to touching the lines, crisscrossing each other. But other than that, I don't see the amount of homes for sale here in this particular range with Aurora being higher than Joliet. No, Joliet has more homes available for sale in this market than Aurora does. That's just the statistics. That's a fact. All right. What about month supply? Who gets the crown there, right? Well, again, the lower, the better for the seller. The higher, the better for the buyer, right? That's really how it goes. So 6 months is the baseline. 3 months, it's obviously a seller's market. And 1 month is a very strong seller's market. How are we looking like? Aurora has 0.8. Super strong, right? Seller market. If you price it right, it's the right place, etc., it's going to sell very, very quickly. Even in a matter of days, like literally less than 10 days. Even in Aurora, I mean, if a property is on the market for 10 days, we kind of give it that side eye like, man, what's wrong with that property? And it used to be, 30 days or more, and if you've been in the market for a very long time and you know your stuff, you'll know it takes even months to sell a property. Not now, that everything's selling now, and us new realtors, we see properties and we're thinking they should sell right away, when a long time ago that wasn't the case. All right, but Joliet, 1.1 month supply. So it's still a very strong seller's market indeed. And that number's actually gone up 10% compared to last year. See, last year in Joliet, it was in August of 2024, 1.0. So 1.1 is not a huge difference, but again, it's just steady seller's market. All right, show me the buyers. Let's take a look at buyer inventory, right? All right, so very similar to Aurora. Now, let's consider this, okay? When we have 10 buyers, right, and we have more inventory to choose from, that, kind of gives the edge off of the sellers a little bit, right? Because there's more inventory. But if you have the same amount of buyers and less inventory, of course, those buyers are going to be fighting more often, and it's going to be better for the seller, because those buyers, the more buyers there are, the better for the happier the seller is. If there's more competition for the seller, it's not as nice, and maybe you get less. And that actually shows in the numbers, right? Even Redfin was saying that Joliet has an average of 3 offers. Well, here in Aurora, Redfin's saying it's 5 offers per. So again, we see it a stronger seller's market in Aurora because they have less inventory, and Joliet has more inventory, but it's still the same. Again, it's 11.6 is the shows per listing, and so there you go. There you have it. That's the basic market analysis of the Aurora market here in September of 2025. And today we just gave you a bonus of the Joliet market. All right, so that concludes this video. Have a good day.